this back in 1988. Then I was also doing some stuff. Also, I didn't have an exclusive with Channel 10. I was also doing some stuff for 4 and some for 6, and we were working on different things. And we'd be a lot of radio stations, a lot of call-in shows, and Bill Van, the general manager of Channel 4, wrote me a letter after it was in the paper that I was going to be taking early retirement. And he said, "How would you like to come to work for us?" And I can remember back, and this is a kind of a story I really haven't told before. So I went in and talked to the news director and the general manager, and we arranged that we would do something on a per pop basis. And I can still remember jokingly, they said, "Well, how much you want to get paid per pop?" And I told them my price. I just pulled it out of the air. I had no idea what I was talking about. And they said, "That's more than we pay Jack Hanna." And I said, "I'm worth more than Jack." That's how it started.
That is a great story. I love that, Tom. You mentioned it there. Your work with Joe Holbrook, who's a legend in the Columbus community. What are your memories of Joe Holbrook, and how good in the garden was he? Because he went on to do that segment.
Yeah, Joe always told the story that he didn't know anything about how to do it, and I would go out there and tell him how to do it, and give him the shovel and make him do it, and make him do all the work. I'd never do any of the work, and I said that's the only way you learn. Joe was probably one of the greatest individuals I've ever worked with. Joe, as you say, was a legend, but better than that, Joe is an ideal, perfect type of a person from the standpoint of interacting with people. And I learned a lot from him, from the mannerisms and from television, etc. He was a great person to work with. He did not know much about gardening. And then we did hook him up with someone when I started doing the Channel 4 one. But we had a lot of fun doing that one. And he did have some other help on that one, too. But Joe came out to be a pretty good gardener after all. But he was starting out, he really was more interested in getting his exercise by jogging every morning than he was, where he beat his knees up, than he was about working on the little words. But he changed. We see him quite often. He's a great friend of mine.
And still around, and we're